Hi, today I've got the story of the goddess Ganga for you and how she descended from the heavens and became the river that we know now. The river that begins high in the Himalayas as many different little streams and then finally comes together and gets more powerful and cascades all the way down through India. So the story starts with a king. The king's name is Sagara. And Sagara is a really powerful king. In fact, he's so powerful that he's able to do a special kind of horse sacrifice called a yajna. And so what happens is he sets one of his horses free. And wherever that horse roams, wherever the horse sets foot, becomes the kingdom, the land of Sagara. So he gets more and more powerful the further this horse roams. Now, meanwhile, up in the realm of the gods, Indra's been watching this. And Indra's a god who's got quite the big ego. He doesn't want anybody to be more powerful than him. And so he sees this King Sagara getting more and more power, and he thinks, I got to stop this. He's going to be more powerful than me, and I don't want that. And so he decides to play a trick on Sagara. He takes Sagara's horse and he hides it. He ties the horse up in the ashram of a sage named Kapila. And this sage, he's been meditating for many, many, many years. He's so deep in his meditation, he has no idea what's been going on, no idea that there's a horse in his ashram, no idea that this horse even exists and that this King Sagara exists. He's just in his own little world. Right? So Sagara gets word that the horse is missing and he is mad. Who stole my horse? He says, I'm going to find you and make you pay. So King Sagara, he also just happens to have 60,000 sons. I don't know how that happened. But 60,000 kids. So he sends his 60,000 sons to go find this horse and to get back at whoever stole it. So the 60,000 angry men with their weapons in hand look high and low for this horse, and they finally locate the horse, of course, in Kapila's ashram. Meanwhile, Kapila has been meditating, has no idea. They charge in, all 60,000 of them, weapons in hand, yelling and screaming and saying, "You, is you who stole our father's horse. You're going to pay for this." Kapila's eyes open, doesn't know what's going on, but he sees 60,000 angry men coming at him, accusing him of something he didn't do. He's really angry at being disturbed from his meditation. And so his third eye opens, flames pour out, and he burns the 60,000 sons of King Sagara to dust. Just like that. They're nothing but piles of ashes. Now Sagara, of course, is devastated. He goes to Brahma. He says, Brahma, please, you've got to fix this. What can you do? My poor sons, they didn't mean it. I know they acted impetuously. I know they accused this sage of doing something that he didn't do. I know that they were wrong, but now they're stuck. Now they're in this sort of purgatory. Their souls can't move on. They can't go to their next life. They're stuck. They're just stuck in this no man's land. You've got to help me bring them back. And Brahma says, well, like, you know just as well as I do that what's been done cannot be undone. But perhaps you can pray hard enough to Ganga, the goddess Ganga, because Ganga is the only one who can help you. Maybe if you pray hard enough, Ganga will release from the heavens and she'll fall upon the earth and she'll wash over the ashes of your sons and she'll purify their souls so that they can move on with ease to their next transition. And so he does. King Sagara, he prays and he prays and he prays. He does all kinds of tapasya, all these austerities, and his whole life he spends praying to Ganga, please come down. But it's not enough. It doesn't happen. She won't come down. And so he dies and his successor takes over. And he takes up the work of Sagara and he prays and prays and he does all the austerities and all the practices and still nothing happens. So this goes on for a few generations until finally a king named Bhagirath ascends to the throne. Now at this point, because the souls of these 60,000 sons have been in limbo because their sins are still upon them, they haven't been rinsed clean, the whole kingdom is in disarray. Everything is not quite working right. There's chaos everywhere. So when Bhagirath takes the throne, he thinks, I've got to fix this. I've got to make this right. And so he prays so fervently. He devotes himself, body, mind, heart, soul, in every way that he can to praying to Ganga that she might wash down from the heavens to purify the souls of these men. He stands on one leg for many, many years, and then he stands on the other leg for many, many years. He subsists on nothing but air, no food, no water for many years. He does so much yoga, he does so many practices. And finally, Brahma takes note. Brahma sees and he says, you've been really, really working hard. I'm going to ask Ganga, I'm going to tell Ganga that she's got to come down and purify the souls of your ancestors. So Brahma says to Ganga, come on, it's time. You got to descend, fall upon these souls so that they can move on, so that they're not stuck, so that they're not stuck in their sins. And Ganga, she says, no, I like it up here. I'm quite happy in the heavens. I do not want to go down to dirty old earth. I've got everything I need up here. It's warm, it's comfy. No, I'm not doing it. Brahma says, it's your job. I'm in charge and it's your job. And so Ganga says, okay, fine, I'll do it. But when I do, I'm going to fall with so much force that I destroy all three worlds. And so she does. She begins to fall from the heavens and everyone is terrified. Oh my goodness, she's going to fall and destroy all of us. And she's falling and picking up speed faster and faster. And finally, Shiva steps underneath just before she falls to the earth. He steps underneath and she lands upon his hair. She falls into his matted dreadlocks where she stays for a moment and he holds her there. And in some of the stories I've read, it says that he kind of likes it there. He's got this goddess, this cute, sexy goddess in his hair, and he thinks, ooh, this is very fun. But meanwhile, his wife Parvati is not so happy about that. So Parvati runs over to him, and she grabs him by the neck, and she holds him really tight and says, you get that girl out of your hair. And she shakes Ganga from his hair. And they say that's one of the reasons that Shiva has a blue throat. So Ganga falls from Shiva's hair. He releases her and she trickles down slowly at first, slowly as she pours through the matted dreadlocks. But eventually she gathers herself together and she picks up speed and she picks up strength and she really likes it now. And so she begins to flow faster and faster and faster over the lands, through the towns, until she gets so forceful that she starts flowing right through whole villages and just smashing them to bits and just taking down everything in her path. Trees and animals and homes and everything. And so she's flowing like this, getting crazier and crazier until she flows through another sage's ashram. And that sage will have none of this. He is angry and does not want her to destroy his ashram. So he sips her up in one big giant gulp and he holds her there until she simmers a little bit and sort of soothes herself, calms down. And then he opens his thigh and cuts it so that she can pour out. And now she's been softened a little bit. Her fall has been softened not once, but twice. And now she pours out, travels gently across the land and rolls, of course, over the souls of the 60,000 sons. The ashes of the 60,000 boys become cleansed and they get to move on. They're released of all their wrongdoings. They're released of all their suffering and they can transition to whatever might be next for them. And now we have this amazing river that you can, of course, still go visit in Ganga to be purified body, mind, heart, and soul. Of your own challenges and sufferings and sins and difficulties. Namaste.